Right. So we'll be starting today. Jai Hind once again, everyone. A very good afternoon, and I hope everyone is safe and sound at your respective places. It's my pleasure, in fact, to introduce Nishad Messi, who is a pass out 2012-14 batch. And Nishad has been one of the biggest entrepreneurs that IIT Noida has turned up. Nishad is having three, four companies of and he's the director for a company called Travel Buzz, which is based in Singapore. Then Travel Buzz India. Then he's also the director for Zoom Prints. So Nishad, I'm very happy to see you back with the IT fraternity. And on behalf of the director, IT team, all the faculty and staff, and all the students present here, I heartily welcome you and wish that your session on business opportunities in tourism industry in the post-COVID scenario as well will be a great learning for our students. So once again, Nishad, very warm welcome, and the
Thank
session
you
is
so
all
much, sir.
yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Jai Hind to everybody. Jai Hind, guys. Uh, I was starting with something, but when I heard this Jai Hind, I just remember my old college days when we were in Pusa and Pawan sir started that. Instead of saying good morning and all, why not we say Jai Hind? What is the harm in that? Until date, we are following that same thing. So it is, when I see this, it really feels good. So, first,
I
I'll
am
tell you,
continuing with that tradition.
yes, sir. That's very good to see that, sir. And even I will tell the students, take it ahead, continue this thing. You should be proud. There are people at times we find that who says that this is something old or they don't respond properly. But once you continue this, people will like doing it and will do it just the way Pawan sir is doing from so many years we have seen. So I'll just start with the presentation, and I'm glad to be here and a part of this talk series, which ITTM has started. So it has always feel good to give things back which you got from this college. So right now I'll tell you what currently I am doing is I am doing my own business. I have a company in Singapore, as I said, told already, and one in India and another named Zoom Prints. So before coming to this college, I never had any dream, or I have never thought that I would be opening a business and I would be opening overseas business as well. But whatever I got in this college, whatever I have been taught in this college, this is all because of this, which I can never forget in my life. Before, in my graduation time, I just had a thing that I would be working with a small travel agency in a small city or something, and do a regular job of a travel agent, being a travel consultant or something. But when I came to this college, and whatever we learned here, the opportunities we learned from our teachers, whatever they explained us, that is the reason. With experience of different companies, my placement happened through the college only. I was placed in Cox and Kings. Then I went to Bonton Holidays, a Dubai-based company. Then I worked with Worldro, which is a Thailand-based company. And then I started my own business because starting from the time, uh, just a minute. From the college, what is the classes are not to write the exam. You have to apply them in your uh, life itself and the work you do. I'll just put the PPT on, so we can start and see what are things we are going to discuss. So the presentation is all about business opportunities in tourism industry. So let's have a quick look on what we are going to uh, see in this presentation. First of all, we'll have a very quick look at the Indian tourism industry. What is Indian tourism industry? How we gonna take the business out of it, and what business can be done in this industry? And why I'm specifically saying Indian, because we are sitting in India and we have to start from India. Then we will be seeing what is domestic, inbound, and outbound tourism. Each and everybody of you sitting out there have read about it and have studied about it. But how to take it, the points in the real life, we'll talk about it. Then obviously we are talking about the business, so entrepreneurship we'll see. And then the main topic which we would be discussing is the business opportunities tourism. And after that, how to select the right kind of business for you. There are a lot of business, but it is not that you can go and start any kind of business. We see a lot of business. Dhirubhai Ambani is doing has started many businesses. Ambani Group is doing so many businesses. Oberoi is doing so many businesses. It doesn't mean that other day you step out and you start doing that. A lot of things are being you have to study and analyze before starting a business, because the business has a lot of risk. So what is Indian tourism industry all about? We'll just talk about the facts and the figures. So Indian tourism is is very important in our country and is growing rapidly. The World Travel and Tourism Council calculated that the tourism generated 16.91 lakh crore rupees. Okay, in 2000, according to the survey of 2018. 2019 is yet to come. So you can imagine the amount which is being remunerated from travel and tourism. 9.2% of India's GDP is from this. So these days you might be having in the news and the Facebook and all that so GDP, this GDP, that GDP. What is GDP? So we'll have a quick look on that as well. And these figures, I want you to just keep in mind just a basic figure, that these many amount of is in tourism industry, these many jobs are there. Even you do a job or you do a business, this PPT is important for you just to understand what is the business all about. If you do a job also in some company, let's say in a travel agency or any further we'll see what all different things are there in those companies, you should know what is the business all about. What is your job? What is your opportunity in that? What is the firm which you are working has the opportunity in the market, and till what time you have to stay with them. No, before we should also always have known the
sorry for interruption. We can't see your slides actually.
Sorry, sir.
We can't see your slides presentation.
Oh, just a minute, sir.
Yeah, now it's visible. Thank you.
Visible.
Again, it's gone.
Is it visible, sir?
No, it's actually coming and going. No, again gone.
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah, it's now. No, again gone. Yeah, now it's coming.
Okay, sir.
So again gone. Some technical glitch probably.
I guess, sir.
It's coming and going and coming and going.
So I will start it again. Just a minute, sir. I will reconnect it. Now is it visible, sir?
Yes, now it's visible. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes. So continuing further, so what is GDP? So GDP is basically all those things, the services and goods produced within a country, regardless of its citizen or foreigners who produced it. So the amount which is being created by the foreigners who are coming or the Indians who are going out, this all is a part of this. So the inbound, outbound, and domestic sector, these are a very huge sectors which have a lot of opportunities in the market. So you would be thinking, why are we again talking about the GDP and the inbound, outbound? You have studied a lot. But what you have to relate with them is the client, the potential. You would come to know in the further coming slide what is the potential of these things, what is the potential of these different types of market, who would be your target audience, what is the amount of revenue you're gonna get it from it, how you have to plan for this, what is inbound, what is outbound, what is domestic. You have the definition, but how to apply it in the real thing, in the real industry, what are the opportunities have, that's what we're gonna discuss in the further things, further slides. So you know the difference between inbound, outbound, and domestic travel. You must all have read it in these classes and all. But you have to see what is the amount of people, the movement of people which is coming in India and people going out. What is it? That number will tell you the correct potential you can have in the business. What is the potential? How many people are there who are doing this thing through which you can get revenue? Which business you have to go? There are like the foreign tourist arrivals has crossed 10 million in 2017 according to the survey. The consumption domestic tourists remains the key strength of the sector in India. The outbound, the survey and the FICCI, they have told that this would reach to 50 million. But due to this COVID-19, there is a break in between. So in last 2018, as per the survey, it is said that 21 million people have gone out of India to visit different places. So you see a very big market for outbound and a very big market for inbound as well. So you have scope in both these things. It is not that only outbound has a lot of money or only inbound has a lot of money. Both the things has a lot of money. There are a lot of things in the tourism market, the journey, adventure, tourism, tours, transport, holiday. So what are the ingredients of the travel industry? We'll see. These ingredients, let's say travel and tour planners, transport, accommodation, food and beverage, shopping. These are the ingredients. These are the small parts which make the travel industry, and these all things are an business opportunity for you. These all segments, these all departments have an opportunity for you to do a business or to be a part of that business. Travel agencies, tour operators, online travel agents. We see online travel agent, people go book online, but online travel agency also have people at the back end to complete that process. You go to an online travel online portal and book a tour for you, but at the back end somebody is required to tell the driver that this and this duty is yours, or to the guide that this and this duty is yours, so and so passengers coming on that day. You have to go there and you have to make them do the city tour or express things, right? The transport, airlines, cruise lines, rails, these are mostly the government and very high things. Then hotels, resorts, bed and breakfast. These all are again small businesses, and where you can penetrate easily. So all these ingredients of the travel industry, you just not need to only just know that okay, travel means these things, but these things have an opportunity. If you want to do a business, look for the opportunities. Where is the place where you can get an opportunity and be an entrepreneur in that thing? What all types of tourism are there in India? You might be knowing that the natural tourism, nature tourism, I mean heritage, wildlife, adventure, pilgrimage, medical, business. These all tourism are just not types of tourism. These are the branches where you can go in. These are the branches where you can go in and open up a business or look for a business opportunity and start doing that. What are the type of travelers or tourists who come and visit, and who come or who go? So leisure tourists are there, adventure tourists, sports and recreation, backpackers are there, special interest tours. People come here, archaeological for things and all. Health or medical. Medical is not a kind of tourism basically, but now they have included it. from our college days also, we have learned that medical tourism is nothing. Tourism, people are coming for their uh, uh, treatment only. So culture tourist, adventure tourist, educational trips, business incentive are the MICE tours. Basically, the companies who make their people travel to different countries for recreational purpose or maybe their annual activities and all ecotourism. So these are the type of travel tourists. Besides that, these are your potential client areas. If you open up a business in a particular city or in a particular country or maybe in a particular state you are serving, these are the different type of potential clients you have. Let's say you open an tour operation company in Goa. So the people coming for adventure tourist and for sports and recreation, these are your key people who would be helping you to run your business over there. Ecotourism, rural tourism, you go to rural areas where people are coming for farming and all those things. Those are the, again, your potential clients for that. So these are just not only types of traveler tourists. Remember, these are your potential clients. Even you do a business, again I'm repeating, or even you do a job, these will be your potential clients anyhow. So once you go into entrepreneurship, you must know what is an entrepreneur, what is entrepreneurship. Who is an entrepreneur according to you guys? Everybody says the person who is doing a business is an entrepreneur. No, a correct entrepreneur would be a person who act upon the opportunities, who deal with the organized effort to pursue the opportunities. Why I'm saying organized? You know, if you don't do an organized effort for your business, it would not, lead you to go to success. You must have seen the hawkers. A thele wala who sells apple also, he arranges them, he displays them well to sell it, even though he's selling a product of 100 rupees only, just for an example. But he organized things, his time is fixed and all. When you were, we all were, when when we were in school, we all used to get a diary. Each and every day we used to write it, the daily homework and what all things we have to do that day and bring it tomorrow, the next day. Why it is taught from the starting? Why it is taught? It is taught to make you organized. From the beginning only, the school makes you to be organized, keep your things organized and work accordingly. So as you grow up in your life, as you grow up in your career, you have to be the organized persons, go a bit on a higher stage and a higher platform than the normal one. So you have to be different from the
Oh, I won't let you go.
So who is an entrepreneur and what is entrepreneurship? You must have been, have got the things. So you have to be organized and you have to take it ahead then. So coming on the very important part of the presentation, what are the top business opportunities in tourism industry which you can go for? The first thing is the travel agency. Each and every person of you know, if I ask anybody of you what type of business are there in travel tourism, firstly you'll say travel agency. So a travel agency is a private retail or public service that provides travel and tourism related service to general public on behalf of accommodation or travel supply. A travel agent doesn't always own everything. He gathers the different things and services and makes a package and deliver to his clients. A travel agent's main function is to act as an agent. That's what I said. Selling travel products and service on behalf of a supplier. So who is the supplier? The supplier you can treat it as a tour operator or a DMC. So DMC is Destination Management Company. So Thomas Cook, you must be knowing that is known as the father of travel agency, who has innovated this business, who has started this business. So you start this business, you can start with a small smartphone and a laptop. The major investment you need is knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot go far in travel and tourism industry. People think that travel and tourism is very easy. You go, if you are in travel tourism, you get to visit a lot of different places, go on holidays. It is not like that. You are on work. Whenever you travel, you are traveling for work, right? Travel management is technical. Why I say this? Because to make an itinerary, to see different points, uh, it is technical. Let's say a passenger is coming from Manali and coming to Delhi, and from Delhi he is flying to Mumbai. So the time difference of his, the time he starts from Manali and he come to, I guess somebody is mic is, yeah, can you please mute your mic? So the travel is technical. Why? So person starting from Manali coming to Delhi to catch his flight. So the travel agent has to check all the things, the travel time, the buffer time, the time for the loo break or for the lunch or dinner, the driver, the number of hours he is driving, all these things. While booking a ticket, he has to just check for the time differences, the time difference between the two flights. Is the layover sufficient for the person to change the flight and get on to the other? So all these things are very technical. Tourism is not very easy or thing. So be proud of it, that people who say that you are working in a very easy and very simple industry, it is not. It is more of technical, and lot of knowledge is required in travel and tourism. A lot of planning and management skills are required to operate this business. There are different types of travel agents in the market. So the concept and operation of a travel agency are too huge and vast to be described within an hour. Okay, so what here in the coming slides or for the different business also we are doing, we are just having a basic idea of what is business all about, and does it suit your requirement, does you like doing that those things, so you can come up with further things. So many of our seniors and our colleagues who and our batchmates basically are into this business, in this travel and tourism business, travel agency business, where you can go talk to them, understand, even you can do the training over there with them, and start your own as well. So this requires, again I will say, knowledge and experience. To become a travel agent, at least you work with a travel company for 6 months or a year to understand what are the trends, how people do it, what all things are there, how registration is done of a travel company. You have to just register a normal company, maybe you can register a private limited. The cost for private limited is more. To register a normal firm or a partnership firm, the amount spent on that is less. Then you have to again open a bank account in a current account basically. There you need money. So these are the few things which you have to keep in mind. You have to hire a CA who would be, filing your tax, your GST returns. You can do it in your own way, but it is always better to get it done from an expert. So types of travel agent linkages where all these travel agents are linked. So travel agents are linked with other businesses. So a travel agent do certain activities and give services which are again a kind of business who is leaded by somebody else. Let's say he is providing a transport. So that transport again is a business for somebody else. So he is again doing a business of transport. So duties of travel agents, we'll just quickly see in the next coming slides. What are the types of travel agents? So there are retail agents. So retail agents are basically the B2C agents who serve the client directly, the walk-in clients or the referral clients. Wholesalers are mostly the B2B, which is business to business. A travel agent like my company in Singapore. So I am in B2B and wholesaler agent. People from India, the direct client, they come to a travel agent, they book their tour to Singapore. That company come to my India company or my Singapore company, and they place the request that this passenger is coming for 3 nights. You have to book a hotel, this so and so hotel. You have to book their transfer, sightseeing, their meals. So I book it for them. They then give it to. They collect the money from there. They keep their margin. The rest they give it to me. I keep my margin. I purchase the hotel rooms. I purchase the sightseeing tickets. Assign the vehicles and all. Who would be going them to pick and conduct their tour. So this is retail and wholesale. So B2C and B2B business. So wholesale and a destination management company can be considered as same. So DMC and a wholesaler is one and the same thing. MICE agent is a very different sector. You cannot start that business in one go. To be very frank, you have to need an experience of at least 5 to 6 years to build your client, to get the experience of MICE. MICE is very typical, and MICE is very a lot of knowledge and experience are required to conduct those tours and those things. So MICE is meeting, incentive, conferences, and events. So MICE is mostly of events where people are more than 50, 100, 200, 500, 800 like that. The inbound tour operators are the companies which are based in, let's say example for India, the companies like Sita, La Pazas to India, Rajasthani. These all the companies who are based in India, they have connect with travel agents, the retail travel agents of different countries, let's say Europe, France, Italy, US. So those agents book their client, they book it from here. So the inbound travel agent in India would be and DMC for the person sitting in London. So they send their people here. These people organize their tours, book hotels, and all those things. So if I'm sitting in Singapore, I'm an inbound agent in Singapore. But if you talk from here, for you, I will be a destination management company, right? Then there is a type of travel which is transport service. Transport service is what? This is basically the person who is having its own fleets, or he outsources the fleets and book it for the different clients and all. There are freelancers, there are air ticketing agents who do only air ticketing. So the travel agency linkages and integration. What and where all things, where are these agents linked? These are linked to different associations, Travel and Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Department of Tourism. They are the key. They are linked to airlines, domestic and international. Then hotels, motels, resorts, cruise companies, transport like road and rail, the wholesalers, the tourism associations. So these all things are linked with travel agency. Again, as I told you earlier also, with the things which with a travel agency is linked, those again are a kind of business which is run by somebody else. So we'll just have a quick look at the services of a travel agent. What does a travel agent has to do? So you book recreation activities, air tickets, car rental. These are again a kind of business, separate business. Cruise lines, hotels, railways, travel insurance, package tours, then holiday package, visa service, passport services, briefing to the guests. So these are services, and in these services there are different type of business as well, like visa, air ticketing, car rental, hotels, and F&B. These are different kind of businesses also. So in starting we said we have to be organized. So all these things have to be organized. I'll just give you an example. If you go to book a tour, let's say you want to go to Europe, you went in the market, you saw a travel agency board, or you search it and you went outside that place. It is clearly written that so and so travel agency, we book Europe tours, US tours, this and that, air tickets and all. How about you see a just office near to it which says Europe tour, holiday packages, flight tickets. In the side it is written बिजली पानी के बिल भी जमा किए जाते हैं. You will see it at many places. Which agency would you go? You would obviously go to the first one, where you see the things are organized. The second person, he is not sure of what he is doing. His core area is not travel and tourism. He is whatever he gets, he'll do it. So if you go for a travel agency business, you go for an organized one. Do good in that only. Don't run here and there that I'll do this business also, that business also. Right? The second business.
Sir, question, sir. Question.
Yes.
Sir, big fan, sir. Big fan, sir, big fan.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir, big fan, इतना कैसे बोलते सर?
Sorry? Hello. I'll just continue with that slide again. Give me a minute. So in this image, you see Mr. Donald Trump. The person in the brown jacket is Mr. Nitin Singh. He is a regional guide in Agra, a regional Ministry of Tourism. So this is again and business people are doing area tour guide, or there are of course many other our batchmates even who are doing this work. One of our senior, Mr. Shashank, he's in Banaras doing the same thing. Mr. Tapesh, he's taking care of Rajasthan and Himachal region. He's doing for the bicycle tours. These are the people who can, you can connect afterwards and talk to them regarding this. So one of the travel and tourism related business that an entrepreneur successfully start with a very little expense is to become a tourist guide. So all that required is a successful launch of this type of business is to ensure that you speak at least one or more foreign language. This can be English, French, Spanish, Chinese, Portuguese, or German. Furthermore, you must also know the terrain very properly. What I mean about the terrain pretty well is wherever you are practicing this service, you should be aware. Let's take an example. If I come to your Noida college, so just an example, okay. So I ask any one of you to guide me with the campus. So I can ask you anything that I can be curious. I can ask you that how much is the difference from the metro station to here? What is the easy way to commute here? What is behind this building? What is the nearby place to go for shopping and all? So these things you have to know. When we go with the group to the different country, let's say we go to Dubai, we go to Singapore and Thailand. When we travel, I travel with the group. Then we have to be prepared. We always keep prepared. There can be people who come and they can ask you, if you are in Dubai, let's say a person comes, and it happened many a times that a person came and said that what is the cost of per liter petrol or diesel in Dubai? So that can be a curious question of his, and you should know the answer. You cannot say that I'll get back to you or I'll come back to you. So these are the basic things you have to prepare while going on a group, or in this business also you should be pro with the destination where you are serving. So once you are certain that you can effectively translate or interpret, then all that is expected of you to do is to position yourself in places where you can have to access to tourists. How you can do it? You can open your own agency as well, an escorting agency where you can also hire or outsource 3-4 other tour guides which can be a part of your team, and you can promote yourself on through your website or social media platforms, or association with different travel agencies like people do as a freelancer. They get in connection or associate with a different big company and says that whenever the business or the thing which is related with it comes, they'll approach them. So you can even connect the other international companies as well. So for this, if you want to be, there are two types of guides. One is regional level guides and one is monument guide. Regional level one is the license by Ministry of Tourism. So there are separate exams and openings for these license which you have to apply, then give exams and get the license. Monument guides are the for example, if you I'll take an example of Udaipur. So Udaipur has a city palace. So city palace has an exam for monument guide. So those guides have a license to do the guiding and guide people in city palace only. That license is valid for only city palace of Udaipur and issued by the authorities of there only. So This is the difference between a regional guide and a monument guide. And then comes the escort. Escort is one. Then further, the next business we talk about is the foreign exchange. Foreign exchange has a huge scope and a very good but a risky market in travel and tourism industry. Each and every passenger who's coming from abroad needs the foreign exchange. So it depends where you are placing your counter or your office. The right place you put your office, the more chance you have to earn. You cannot put your foreign exchange office in an kapra market. You have to be near to a tourist place only. You have to be near a tourist market only, or maybe at the airport, or where maximum of these places are there. There are like, let's say, Bikaji Kama place in Delhi, Connaught place in Delhi. There are so many foreign exchange companies. There are so many in Bikaji Kama place. So people know that there we'll find n number of options, and people want to go their particular place only where you get so many options, so they can compare and exchange their amount. So each and every single dollar or rupee which is exchanged, people earn from that. For this, you have to take an FMMC license. So this is fully fledged money changer license. So for this, you have to submit a lot of documents and have to show fund minimum, which is 25 lakhs in your current account to get the license of this. Once you get the license, then only you can sell or purchase the foreign exchange legally. Okay. Next is the visa consultancy. So for all the people who are going outside India, visa is must. Okay, and this has a very big opportunity. Lot of clients are there and a very big market. Even though people don't take package from you, if you are a visa company, they might take a visa from you. Visa consultancy, you charge for your consultancy and your knowledge. If you have good knowledge of visa, types of visa, the requirements, then you can do a very good in this. One of our seniors, his wife owns a very good company, El Vizardo, in Delhi itself, and they are doing a very good business in the visa market. You can connect with Lama sir, and he would tell you the credentials and all. Then you can talk to them also for the further knowledge about it. So learning about the category of visa and how to apply is the most important thing. And for this, you have to work with a visa company for some time to understand the process and to understand how you're gonna apply. Okay, so you have to understand the profile of the applicant also. There might be people coming to you that I have so much money, do this and that and apply my visa. So those are the illegal visas which you should not get into. Go with for the visas of the people who have the correct document. Don't go, because that will end up your career. Once you are gone, it's end of your career. You might see a lot of money, but that is just for 1 or 2 or 3 times. That's it. Whatever you do, do it in a legal way. Do it honestly. Do it in the favor of your country. Don't do a business just for your sake and disturb the rest of the country or the market. The next business we are talking about is the hotel industry, which is a very huge market. People need somewhere to sleep, and often the big hotel chains are expensive and souls. So in this business, I'm not telling you to open a very big 5-star hotel or something. You can start with the small hotels also. You have options of hotels like small hotels, boutique hotels, a hotel with a 20-30 rooms, and a B&B. How to do it? I'll tell you. A small hotel, to build up a hotel, to build everything, it is very expensive. It will burn a lot of cash. A lot of funding is required. So to start up as an entrepreneur, what you can do is you can lease a hotel. First, you do a lot of research on that area, check the hotel, check the hotel with an engineer as well to check what all leakages are there in that hotel. Are the floors good? Are the electric wires and all those things good? Because that would come upon you only in the coming future. Anything which is broken or something, that you have to repair. So do a proper survey of the hotel, take it on lease, and then run. There are so many different options where how you can run it through digital marketing. You can keep your own salesperson, word of mouth. You can give your sales right to different other travel agents as well. Even digital marketing can be a very good source of generating leads, and the service, the professionalism, the dedication, the sincerity, and the spontaneous understanding, the client handling, all those things would make you earn more in this business. Even if you don't have this much amount that you cannot lease a hotel, because leasing a hotel will start from 2 to 3 lakhs per month. This is the amount you have to give to the hotel owner, and other expenses are your own. So a very small hotel, if you open for 20 rooms, then also that hotel's monthly expense is around 8 to 9 lakhs, which I am telling it after doing a survey of 2-3 hotels which we were planning to take. But that didn't sound as well, so we didn't go with that. Another option to go in this business is the bed and breakfast. Easiest way is Airbnb, which is down nowadays, but through Airbnb or the platform like that, what you can do is you can convert your own property, maybe your 2 rooms, 3 rooms, into this thing. Let's say in 30 days, you just your room is booked only for 10 days. Let's say your room costs 2,000. So 20,000 in a month you are earning. No expenses are there in that. Only you have to clean the room and kept it. Bed and breakfast, you provide them hot plate or something, they'll cook on their own, or you give them a cook. You cook for them. This is a very big business. I have known people who are doing this. Even in my Delhi home, near to that, there is a guy whom I know who has rented 3 different flats in my area, and all those flats he has put it on Airbnb. So there are people who are doing this business and earning good. There are people who have a lot of money. They have purchased their properties in Goa and all, and they have kept it on Airbnb. They never go. Once in a year or 2, they go to that particular flat or something. But besides that, that is just running on Airbnb. People are coming, staying there, and going. So that is with a very small investment, you can do this business. So just for an example, I said that 20,000 a month you are earning. So from 1 room, if you have 4 rooms, that goes to 80,000. Just 10 days if your room is occupied out of 30, which is 30%. Let's say take it lesser also, then also you earn good. It is just the references people put after your visiting your place would create a turning point for you. So there are a lot of, but this hotel business has a lot of license and permissions you have to take for the fire safety, police, business registration, the bar license if you have one, the GST and all. So a lot of license you have to take in this. The next comes is the F&B business. So a restaurant or a coffee shop. So restaurant here, what I mean is the specialty restaurants for a special cuisine which they are offering. It is not a restaurant which is in CP with a funky sitting arrangement or something. The restaurant which you would open should be kept in focus with the tourist, that a person coming to India or a person coming to a particular city or your state, he is coming, you will give them authentic food of that particular area. Like you come to Rajasthan, everybody knows about Chowkidani. The photo you see in this slide is of Chowkidani itself. So they give you a proper ambience. So whatever they charge, that is their earning, and the experience which the people get, they definitely tell others about the thing. So specialty cuisine, what I mean here is, it is not that, if I say Chinese, so Chinese van standing on roadside. Chinese is proper Chinese food with a proper seating. and which also kept, which has been prepared keeping in mind that the person is coming, who's coming to eat the authentic Chinese food. If I say about the Italian food, it does not mean that pasta. There are a lot of things in Italian food, and in Indian cuisine, different state have different taste and spices. So a chicken dish which is prepared in North India, the taste would be different, and the chicken dish which is prepared in South India, the taste is different. So you have to be specific and take care of that. So a lot of manpower, space, and again licensing, FSI, and all those things would be required to open up a restaurant. So, but for extra income, you can open up for online deliveries and all. But your prior focus and the prior thing should be, keep in mind that it should be on tourists. The destination, the city you choose to open this should also be keep in mind while going for this business. You cannot open a very good this theme restaurant of a particular thing in, let's say, a Bihari theme restaurant in Ladakh. So you have to open it near to that region only, maybe in Bihar only. So there is a restaurant called Pot Belly, which is in Chanakyapuri in Delhi. So that serves only Bihari food. Their whole menu is for Bihari food. So which is, if you get time, you should try this. It is in Chanakyapuri. Its name is Pot Belly. So these are the important things which you have to keep in mind. Now coming to the coffee shops, what is called the image you see, this is the image of Udaipur and the people sitting out. This is a very small cafe, Jheel Cafe, which is very famous. A lot of foreign tourists come here just for a cup of coffee and for breakfast. That's it. Nothing much they serve here. So this particular cafe has presented itself as just a place to sit, read book, have a cup of coffee and go away. They don't want to serve you meal. They don't want to serve you naan or lunch or dinner. They just serve snacks and the coffee and all. So you have to be very specific that let's say this coffee shop, you present there the homemade cakes, let's say bunch and breakfast, and fresh hot drinks. The people should like over there. There are, in this particular restaurant, they serve aam panna to the foreigners. So they don't know what is aam panna. They tell them that this is a refreshing thing which people drink in summers, and it is very good for health, and it keeps your respiratory system and all those things and all those blah blah blah. And they sell it in 300 rupees a glass. What is aam panna? You guys, we make it in our home. It is nothing, but they are selling it. They are portraying it like that, and then doing that thing. The decor and the setting should be a bit different. So the tourists come, they sit, they should have a feel of India, or they should have a different feel of a cafe, not just the regular one. They also have barista over there in their countries. They also have Starbucks in their country. What is the different in your coffee shop? These are the things you have to understand. Another very important and very wonderful business idea for this is, if you love to cook, there are people who have opened business for teaching the cooking things, teaching the different recipes. So they take money from them, they cook the food for them, they teach them, and they give the same food for them to eat. So maximum profit is theirs. Very less of investment, more of profit. This is again, but here, if you know a foreign language, then it can be more beneficial for you. In Rajasthan, there are so many people who are doing this business. They are calling people to their restaurants, home, and then this can be clubbed with the Airbnb as well. The Airbnb thing, bed and breakfast. There you can be a host and teach them, take money from them for teaching the recipe, and you can give the same food to them. A bar or a pub is again very interesting business opportunity, but it includes a lot of financial, and a lot of cash to burn in it. So this business can be only done in the very high tourist places where a lot of tourist people are coming. If you want to open a club for tourists, then you select the destination accordingly, and if you just want to go and open it any city, you can do it. But here what we are talking about is the business opportunities for tourism. In Goa, these things are very pro. In outside India also you go, there are many places where these are pro, and where in some places where people don't like it. Let's say if you go to Vietnam, soon we're gonna open an office in Vietnam as well. So Vietnam, Hanoi doesn't have so much of nightclubs and all, but Ho Chi Minh City have. Both cities are in the same country. Both cities are near the, have good water bodies near them. But Hanoi doesn't like these things. Ho Chi Minh City have. People over there and tourists go there for partying and all. Makes it the adventure tourism. For this, you have to be, you have to select a proper site where you are going to start your business. Let's say if you Uttarakhand, you can do this. You can do this in Goa. You can do this in Rajasthan also, like in Jaisalmer, in Mount Abu. You can do. There are people who are doing this adventure activities and adventure camps in these particular things. So there are different types of tourism and different types of activities which are there in this business, which you can opt for, or you can be a agent for these all services, and you can arrange it and give it to your clients. Let's say hard adventure and soft adventure are the two different types of adventure. So backpacking, whitewater rafting, hot air ballooning, rock climbing, hang gliding, parachuting, bungee jumping, snorkeling, all these are the hard adventure. The soft one is the camping, biking, sailing, horse riding, canoeing, banana ride, jet skiing, and all those things. So these are the different businesses, as well as you can be a consolidator for these businesses. There are many people who have done rafting in Rishikesh. So there are people who do own their raft and directly sell it, and there are people who don't have anything. They just have opened. They have marketed themselves in social media and digital marketing so much that people land to their page. They take your booking, then they pass it on to the person who is having the original fleets. So it is just an example of rafting. The same thing is being done in other all these activities as well. This is again a type of good business which you can do. The next is for the transport or shuttle or taxi business. So here I'm not talking about Ola or Uber something. Okay. So here what we are talking about is a preferred taxi permit vehicle, which has the permit for all over India, where you have a chauffeur-driven car for the client and you roll it on. In our college also, our seniors and are there who are running this business. A very good thing which is run by Mr. Devendra Singh in Rajputana Tours in Jaipur. They have a very good fleet of their own, including 5-seaters and 10-seaters and mini coach and all those things. So they are doing a very good business. Especially they cater the foreigners only. So whatever cars they have, whatever drivers they have been trained to give service to the people coming from outside India. So in this particular thing, what all types of vehicles and what are the sections are there, like chauffeur-driven cars are there, then chauffeur-driven luxury cars are there. There are people, you will see in the 5-star hotels, all of them have high-end vehicles. There are some separate transport owners as well who have their cars and they rent it out for different purposes. The self-driven cars are again booming up, like Zoom car you have seen. That is again a part of the tourism only. People coming to different places for work or maybe leisure, they are using that. Self-driven two-wheelers, you'll find it in Uttarakhand, Himachal, and in Goa and in Rajasthan as well these days. Mini coaches, bus coaches, cars. So you can own this or you can outsource it and then sell it to your client. You cannot own all the vehicles, but you can have some. It is always said that if you have some, it is better for you to go and upgrade yourself fast. Another is rural and agriculture tourism. We have known people who are doing this. They one of our batchmate, Mr. Tapesh, is there, who is working on an site, agricultural site near to Chittorgarh. Near to Chittorgarh, between Udaipur and Chittorgarh, there is a site which he is developing into for a rural tourism and a health resort kind of thing. He's doing it as on own, and soon would be maybe in 2021 he would be opening up that for bookings and all. So what he's gonna do there, I'll explain you this tourism through his concept that they would be farming over there. They will be taking the people, make them understand the organic farming, how cattle have been they take care of the cattle and all those things. What about the local cuisine? This same thing can be done. People come here to see the tree gardens in the northeast region, the handicraft in Rajasthan, the farming in Haryana. So these again is an good opportunity, but has a very less client right now. So you can take it as a part of your travel agency. You can put it on your website that you do this kind of tour as well. Right. Again, the next business you can go is for houseboat, but this would only run in Kerala. Again, we have alumni of our college who are doing this business. Mr. Steven is there, who is having his own 3 houseboats in Kerala, and he is doing pretty well. This requires a lot of cash to be burnt to purchase one. Second, you can do it in the same way you did the hotel one. You can lease a houseboat. This can accommodate 8 to 10 people in the season time. You don't have the time to count the amount you are getting from this. Fixed profit are there. You can, while leasing, you can lease it fully, or you can lease it in profit sharing part. You give a certain amount of profit to the actual owner, and the operational cost and everything is borne by you, and you keep a different amount of profit in this. So whenever you select a business, first of all, check what are the pros and cons. You have to think, calculate the risk, calculate, you have to invest less in the starting, and try to get the maximum profit out of there. Next one is translation, which is a very good one, which you can club with the regional level guiding and escorting. Here you can translate it for the you can have your own company as well. You can translate to different groups. You can escort them, and the same thing which you have learned you can use with the Indians who are going to different countries. Let's say you have learned Spanish, people going to Spain for some business purpose. There are people who don't know, but they want to do business. They will take you with them. There are known friends of mine who are good in Chinese. They go from here to China with the buyers who go and buy products with them in the past, and they earn a lot. They get commission from both the sides, the person who is taking them, and the second one, the seller. He also gives a different amount of envelope to him. So this is a very good option if you have learned a language. This can be an add-on to your travel agency business and inbound business. If you are doing an inbound business, rather than sending an escort, you can go if you have time. You save the cost of the escort. An escort is being paid starting from 1,500 rupees to 5,000, 6,000 rupees per day, depending on his experience and the potential he has. So that amount you can save. If he's being paid 5,000 rupees per day, 10 days to 50,000, you can save 50,000 instantly, right? Next is the business of souvenirs. So souvenirs play a very important role. Wherever the tourist comes, people buy souvenirs. Souvenirs means not only just the fridge magnets. It means the keychains, gift articles, paintings, mugs, local arts and all. So different places, they have different things. A lot of commissioning is being given to the guides, the drivers, and to the travel agents who have sent the client to that particular shops. Okay, You can also do a business. You can also start your own factory for building these things. As Pawan sir had told you earlier that I have a printing company as well. In my printing companies, whatever groups we have for Singapore and the other countries, we make the mementos ourselves. Even though the client is paying us for that, we save the cost over there, we build it and we give it to them. So we have the machine set up over there in Noida only. I have a factory in the sector 66 just near to the college. So this is again a kind of business. Either you can take the souvenirs and all in bulk, or you can create it yourself, or you can get in touch with the local people who are manufacturing this and then sell it out. That has a very huge profit margin, and this can be a very good business if you intend to go in this. Beach activity, water sports, shacks and walking tours. This is again in addition to the restaurant business and the hotel business. So if you are near to beach, if you have land, if you have opportunity, you can go with this. You can open a small shack where people relax. In Thailand and all, they have in Unity. If you go to Thailand, let's say if you are in Phuket, if you are on the beach, there are lines of shacks. You can sit in the shack, have some drinks or have some meal or something. You can even sit on the beach, but there you have to pay a certain amount to them. So that is a union which they have formed, which is not technically right, but that is a union. You cannot fight with them. You have to pay and you can sit over the beach. Mostly they have covered their beach for their shops and all. So these things have a huge scope, but competition is more, space is less. The beaches are same, they cannot be extended. And whatever you have to do it there. Here also you have an option to lease it. The leasing the properties is a very easy thing, but has to be calculated. Before leasing a property, a shack or something, you have to calculate the things. Travel blogger or a vlogger, if you are good at writing, filming, then this can be a very good job for you. So if you don't want to get interacted with a lot of, you don't want to sail, you don't want to sit 9 to 5 job, you can go with this. So this thing has you can make videos, you can click photos, you can write blogs and sell it to different big companies. Just like there are different web pages, there are websites who require these things, and there are people who write it. They don't give their name, they give it to them and they get their money. See, I'll just give you an example. You write a blog on let's say Noida. If some companies are there who have been given tasks to write about it in Noida, they don't send somebody to come Noida daily, up and down, see the market and all. Rather they will outsource it. The outsourced one is the you. So you, whatever you have collected, whatever data you have collected, you can sell it to them. In continuation to this, there is a business of photography and videography. So you go to different places. If you are good with the camera and all, you click good photos, you create good videos. These videos, photos are being used by the big advertisement companies. Even the hotels, tourism departments, they also require. There are options where people can nominate their or give their tender of photos and all, and they get selected and get a lot of money from this. There are people, I have a very good friend of mine who is a freelancer photographer for hotels and resorts. He spent month time in an hotel to taking the different angles of that hotel with different sunshines and all, and get paid a lot. One of you must have known about V Resorts. So V Resorts is a company which has more than 300 resorts in its name. It is just like a concept of Oyo, but they don't have their own properties. They have leased the other properties. So this is the guy who has a contract for them, and he traveled the whole country and click photos, create videos for the marketing purpose of V Resorts. So just like this, you can also be a part of it, but again you have to make first good contact for this. Study a lot about it, and market yourself. Start, if you want to go in this, go make your YouTube channel and market yourself as fast as you can. So yes, one more very, very important thing in this last one. This can be a job which you can connect with the guiding as well, and you can connect with different travel agents. In Europe recently, in last October, November, I guess, we have booked a tour for a passenger who very known to us, who was going to Paris. So we have booked a tour which was named as Instagram tour. So what is there in this tour? You will find it on internet. There would be a photographer who would be covering the whole city tour, or the time you are spending. They will give you slot 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. He would be a professional photographer who will be clicking your photos. People go travel these days. You also know that they want to click and put it on the social media platform to let their people know that where they are traveling. So these are the different kind of tours. This costs very less. This was around 20 to 23 euros, which comes to around 1500 rupees. So 1500 rupees if it is earning from 3 hours. So if we work for 6 hours, 3000 rupees per day. So you can imagine for the month, 90,000 rupees. So it is just in rough figure, but you can get into this, and this can be, because very less people are there. There are pre-wedding shoot packages as well, where people are booking, the travel agents are booking the photographer, they are booking the hotels, they are booking the flight, transportations and all those things, the makeup artist and all. This is again a different kind of business which you can put separately, or you can make it a part of your travel agent. So now we'll in the coming to the other part of the thing, that how to choose your business. As I told you in the starting, you cannot start and you cannot go for any kind of business which you want to go. So you choose a business based on what you love, what you like. If you don't like photography, don't go for this photography business. If you don't want to travel, don't want to interact to people, don't go in the escorting, guiding or the tour managership business. If you like to make people travel, you want to sit and work religiously, then only go and select the business. And select the business according to, as I told you, what you like and what you love. A business unit built upon a passion is usually more successful, because it allows you to do a regular basis what you love. So you will be more enthusiastic about the business determined to you. Make sure it runs to your standards and motivated it to growth. So your attitude would be favorably impressive, and any employee you may have and any customer. So if you like the work you do, you will enjoy it, and daily life also, if you like to play cricket, you like to play cricket and you play, you enjoy it. If you don't like, somebody will ask you to play, you will stand there like nothing and you don't want to run or something, right? You have to keep a balance in whatever business you are choosing. And are you ready to make it a part of it or not? If you love to be with your family after a 9 to 6 job, you have to be with your family, and don't select the escorting business. Don't go for travel agent business. Travel agent work in the night as well. You are working with different countries. When it is night here, they have morning. Many a times we have to get up early in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock, because in the Far East region, in Philippines and all, it is already 8. There are people at the airport, cannot find the vehicle, they call you. From here, then you have to, make the necessary arrangements. So you have to select like that. Then you have to understand your strength, what strength you have. Before starting, build a business on what you already know and you are good at. If you don't know about hotel industry, don't go for it. That's why he said, before starting any business in tourism, you have to first go and study about it for some time. You have to take a first-hand experience of that. Without experience, you cannot run any kind of business. Although if you have a family business background who is doing the same business, then of course you can. But if you are entering new in this business, then you have to take experience. In family business, who are doing the travel industry business, they have a hand on your back. So if you are doing sales the whole life, you do a business of sales. You don't go for other businesses, right? So if you have built relationship in a specific industry, then consider starting your business that allows you to take example. Just like for an example, like MICE division. If you have very good contracts with the administration department of big companies who finalize the tours and all, then you can start your own MICE company after your good experience. B2C clients, if you have, you can start your travel agency. If you have good connection with the B2B travel agents, like I had good connection with the B2B travel agent pan India, so I started a B2B company. So, and the most important, consider your financials before connecting to the business opportunity. You compare the opportunity, what you are doing, how much fund you have. For this, you can go obviously for funding, you can go for bank loans and all. But self-saving is very easy to raise and very safe. The best what you can do is don't spend in the starting a lot. Okay, try to spend less. Try to get less of buy less expensive things. Expensive would be there for registration, office supplies, office rent. If you don't have an own property, you have to take an office on rent, or maybe goes with the hotel and other business as well. The marketing, the daily pen, pencil and all. These also are expenses. You have to bear it. You don't feel it, but these are there. These amount has to be gone from your pocket in the starting. The assets, the cars if you buy, maybe the laptops, the computers, the current. If you open your current account, then also you need minimum of 10,000 rupees INR to put it in the bank account and to maintain that. Earlier it used to be, if you know somebody in the bank, you can do it on the zero account. But now you have to do it with a minimum of 10,000 required in any bank. Then you require a CA. It is better to get an CA. You can take it as a full-time, or you can take an accountant full-time, or you can take it on contractual basis that once in a week he would visit you and do the filing. That is a smart move you do at the starting of the business, because you don't have so many things to do. Online transaction you can manage on your own. Check for the opportunities what you have in your area. Think of the product or services in demand currently and are underprovided, which I told you, like just example like that photography business. We have conducted tours in Singapore of people. There is a travel agent in Kolhapur, Jaravi Holidays. He has he's running this thing. He has sent 3 bookings to me last year in October, November, because December is the wedding season. He has booked 3 tours with me for his passenger and the photographer and the helper to go to Singapore and have the different this pre-wedding shoot and all. Then we took a lot of permissions and all from the Singapore Tourism Board as well to click photos on the roads and different sightseeing, because these things are not easily allowed. You have to take permissions for that. Even in India, there are places where you have to take permission prior to click the photos in those particular monuments and sightseeing places. So you have to see what all opportunities are there, what is the demand in the market for that, right? If you go Goa, the major demand is for the water sports activities, shacks, bars, clubs like this. There you don't have an opportunity for rural tourism. You can ask a person coming to Goa to dig the fields, right? So make sure that you have a big and enough need of this service product to keep your business profitable. Example, 3-course meal in city tour in a bus. In Singapore, it is started. One of my friend was doing in 1 year back. He was doing in Ahmedabad. So what they has done is they were providing a 3-course meal per person. It was around 600 rupees for the meal. So it was a 1-hour round of Ahmedabad city. They started from the Kakaria Lake. You might be knowing the name of the lake in that particular thing. So that was something, a different product, which is underprovided and not provided as much in the country, but people want to experience it and you can earn a lot. So they had overbooking in that bus for people. At one time, they serve like 29-30 people 1 hour. So they run 4 shifts of that bus in the evening, starting from 6 or 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock, in span of 1 hours. So that kind of things you can, think out of the box. That things would help you. Escorted bicycle tours. Again, as I told you, Mr. Tapesh, who is creating a rural site in Rajasthan. Another is Mr. Swaleh Islam and Mr. Sabyasachi. These are all your IITM pass outs. They are doing these bicycle tours, escorted bicycle tours, and doing very good in their jobs. Then the last one which comes is a franchisee as a business idea. If you don't have any new business idea, still you want to go and you don't have clients, but you want to start up, you can start with a franchisee module like Cox & Kings was giving earlier franchisee, Thomas Cook is giving franchisees. So you can take the franchisee, those will help you market, they will give you staff, they will give you training, but you again need to earn a lot of amount to purchase that franchisee. So these are the businesses which are coming in travel and tourism industry, which you can opt for. So there are businesses which are related to each other, interconnected to each other, but are separate entity as well. In the last, I'll just give you a quick points to remember while opening your business, and then we'll wind this up. And then I'll give you one tip also if you want to do some business right now. So, you will always have a competition in any business you open. So you have to be prepared for that. You will need to know more than you already know. You know what is a hotel, you need to know how many people are required. You need sweeper, you need a cook, you need an electrician 24 hours. These are the things a hotel requires. Right? You need to spend money in the starting. You cannot be, immediately you cannot become rich. You opened a business today and tomorrow lot of amount is coming. It is not a lottery business. Even lottery business or the casino business doesn't have like this. You cannot go to a casino and win always. The casino only wins. Right? So you need to obey the laws. As I told you, don't do anything against the law. If you want to run your business for a long term, do something good for your country, good for you, good for your, the area which you are coming from, good for your college, good for your parents and your family. Don't break the laws, because you cannot go anywhere. The world is very small. There are fraud travel agents who do, and there are people who will teach you to do fraudulent activities. Don't go in that. You can't do it by yourself. So everything you cannot do it by yourself, which I told you that, if you want to do the registration, or hire a CA, get it done from you, because the expert can do better than it. Your customer won't come flocking. You have to hunt for it. You have to work for it. You have to do a lot of things for it. You have to do a lot of digital marketing for this. So you are going to, sometimes, yes, many a times it happened with us also. We started, things goes bad, good. You will always feel that, it is time, I have to quit. I should quit. Don't quit. Stand like a rock. 3-4 times this will happen to you. 5th time you will say, I am ready to handle any situation. And this is true. This is I am telling you with my experience. So these are the points to remember while doing the business, starting the business. Here I would like to end it. All the people who have listened to this PPT, who all have sincerely listened, those are the people who really want to do the business. I'll give you a small advice, a small tip right now. What business you can do without disturbing your studies. Start filling online passport forms. Charge from 300 to 500 rupees per passport. You can do it sitting in your room. You just need to get the document, fill it. People don't know how to fill the passport form. Once or twice you try it, then you are pro. Each day, a single day, you have to just fill one passport. If you collect 500 rupees monthly, you are earning 15,000 rupees as your pocket money, doing nothing. But this is an opportunity. You want to take it, You can take it, calculate it, and if you do it religiously, right? This you can do without any investment right now. Just market yourself. Just tell your people who are all around that if you need assistance in filling your passport forms, I will assist you. It is very easy. If you want any guidance on that, you can directly contact me and teach you that also. That is for the people who want to become entrepreneurs. Start doing it now. Try this thing. You will come to know what all things you have, how much patience level you have to do it. So here I would like to end and thank you guys for having me here and listening to me for so much time. I hope that I have shared maximum things which I have as per my knowledge and would be beneficial for you.
Thank you, Nishad. It was really indeed very, very fruitful session, I would say, for the students who are patiently listening. And I'm happy to see you've told almost 2 dozen business ideas to the students, right? So
Yes,
the
sir.
basic entrepreneur skills they have to develop, but you've given them beautiful ideas. Uh, I hope all the students are very much enriched by this session. So now we go to the session for questions, quick 4 5 questions because we've already overrun the time. So those who want can put up your question on the chat box as well as you can ask live. Any questions? So compliment for you. One of the till now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And then there is another question by Amrita Karan. Good afternoon, sir. Is there any tourism opportunities in Singapore for BBA graduates?
For
BBA, we've started BBA tourism as well from 2016. So we have batches of BBA tourism and travel.
see, sir, I would like to answer that. Many a times, we think a long way. You have to start step by step. There are opportunities, different countries, but if you don't know it from the scratch, it is nothing. You'll go and you'll be blank at a particular point. You have to learn and understand from the scratch. Why from the starting in the school we learn ABCD and then words and then into sentences. Just like that, travel and tourism, you to start learning from here, then you can get a good opportunities over there, and you can take it ahead.
Right. Good answer. So I think we end up over here. And thank you so much, Nishad. It was pleasure hearing to you. 1 hour session has gone into 1.5 hours. And it was an excellent session, very informative. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon live
Yes,
and
yes,
meet
sir.
you.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
guys,
much.
for
Thank you
having
all
me.
the audience and stay tuned. Monday we'll come up with a new session. And also in Industry Speaks, we have a session on Tuesday on wildlife tourism. So thank you so much and stay tuned. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nishad, on behalf of all IIT team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
कहाँ से खत्म होगा? रिकॉर्ड करने